I didn't even know she was in here. She does that all the time. She's rubbing up against me. What's up? I hope y'all are well. So we picking this up when I'm like, I don't know how old I am, but I know I'm in elementary and middle school back in Baltimore. I used to go to Holy Family for elementary school, and that is a church that had a school. Oh my God. I used to get in trouble so much. So, like, okay, we had uniforms, the whole nine. And this is like an elementary school, but it had a private school as well. It's the type of school where they legit pray in the morning, like when we would get there. And I believe we had a regular curriculum, but we also went to church while we were in school. We had prayer and stuff like that. Like, they legit had nuns. I actually got my behinds whipped by a nun. I didn't even deserve it. Like, yes, that nun took me into her office, bent me over a chair, and spanked me with like a ruler or something for grunting in class because I was being disrupted. I had an itch in my throat. Like, it happened to me in a lift the other day. This man, oh my God. This man did the most. I could tell he was about to put me out that lift. We had like 6 bags of laundry in the trunk. And he was whole ass about to put me out because I got something stuck in my throat. And I don't know if it happens when I'm anxious or what. That plus my allergies, I'll just get something stuck in my throat. And I'm just like, and I'm telling him, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And luckily I had a face mask on. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have allergies. I just need some water. And he is just like doing the most. And I could tell he didn't want to put the window down, but I could tell by his body language that I was making him feel uncomfortable because, I mean, come on, you don't want to like coughing all up in your space. So I don't know if he meant to put the window down, but he put the trunk up and all my clothes were in there. So I'm like, girl, if you don't do something, all of your clothes are going to be in the street. Got my ass beat by a nun for grunting in class. But yeah, it was just me and like 2 other black kids in the whole elementary school, and the rest of them were just like rich white kids. Even the black kids were rich. My family wasn't rich. They were middle working class, and my adopted dad was a police officer, and my adopted mom had done everything. She had been a banker, a teacher. She was in school to get her doctorate. She'd been in nursing school. Like, she did everything. So they were professional people, but it's not like we were rich. But yes, I was there because I got high grades, so I didn't have to pay as much as everybody else did. But most of them were rich and just like really obnoxious. I don't know why they were going to a church school. They were not good people. So I'm there, and the other 2 people, they were black, but they were not American. They were whole ass African royalty, so they were snobby, didn't want to talk to me. And oh my God, it was the worst. So I didn't have any friends then either. Like, I didn't fit in there. And them kids, oh my God, they were weird. So, and they snitched. They snitched. Like, these are the type of people. I went on a school bus one day, and I had taken a bunch of money from my mom. I don't know why I did that. She didn't even notice. She would have 20s in her purse all the time. I guess I was trying to make these people like me or make them acknowledge me because they would whole ass just ignore me or whatever. So I took a bunch of 20s out of my mom's purse, and I took them to school, and I passed them out on the bus. They went and snitched on me. They told the principal, and I got in trouble, whatever. It was just like ridiculous. So never had any friends, never fit in. I didn't fit in school there. Like, I live in Baltimore. Like, I live in Baltimore. We used to live in the city, moved to the county, but it's still Baltimore. Still Baltimore. And then you got me going to this mostly white school where all these rich kids don't fit in there. Then you take me into the city when we have family get-togethers, and then I'm around brown people that are like urban and cool, but they don't accept me either because I'm this articulate little nerdy, weirdly dressed mini version of Oprah, and like, I didn't fit in anywhere. I had no friends. I had just myself and nature. It's always been that way. And it's like there was always something extreme going on in my life. It was always something. And I didn't have anyone to talk to about it. So I ended up having this very strong sense of, I don't know, being alone. It was my norm. Almost to the point where I developed some type of, I don't know, social awkwardness. I didn't know how to be around people because I was always around nature or animals. That's it. And I was with the spirits a lot. And looking back in my life, I understand things now that I didn't understand back then. because I didn't have anyone to bounce it off of. And the people around me were not spiritual. They weren't even very good people. So they only showed me things not to be. And I'm also grateful for those lessons. They showed me how not to be compassionate, how not to raise kids, how not to have healthy relationships. Those are the things I was taught by the people that raised me. But everything else, I basically raised myself. I learned how to navigate social situations by media. I learned how people interacted from movies and shows. That's how I learned how to interact. I just mimicked what I saw other people do to be normal because I wasn't normal. I said what I really thought. That's not something you can do in society and get away with it without some kind of backlash. Being just being so honest and open and pure with my emotions when everybody else around me was on bullshit. Like they were, I got scammed so much. I got my heart broken so much. Every relationship I got in, I thought it was forever. You know, it wasn't like that. And so I grew up with this fantastical idea of what life was. I grew up off of Disney movies, and I was a whole real life Disney character. You know what I mean? When it came to, I didn't understand the world at all. I didn't understand the world at all until I met my husband, and he put me up on game. I grew up when I met that man, and that's why no matter where our relationship ended, and I used to always say, "Ghost raised me." Ghost, that's my ex-husband. He's dead now, but I was married to him for 18 years, 20 years. Had 6 kids with him, and he passed. We'll talk about that later, but he passed last year. He took his own life a year after we, separated. But I just never understood life until I met him. He taught me everything. I was not raised by the people that raised me. They adopted me because they were having problems in a relationship. And then it just, having a child doesn't work when you don't have a healthy relationship. Like, why would you do that? But, you know, I ended up raising myself, being in school. So I learned how to be a human being and how to interact socially through TV shows and stuff like that. I learned how to deal with heartbreak through music, and I learned about self-expression through music. I found my freedom through music and through art, because being able to cook, sing, dance, these were all forms of expression. Those were the only ways that I could be myself, because I wasn't allowed to be myself in my household or in my church or at my school. Everything that I asked about, talked about, was interested in was demonized. Everything. Even being a woman, sensuality, just everything. I stayed in my masculine energy for a very long time because I was never taught the beauty of the essence of a woman. And, I was taught that being a female was weak and just something bad. I was taught sex was something bad. That caused issues in my relationship. So everything boils down to your childhood and what you go through as a child. It really formed the person that I am today. I have a very strong creative mind because I didn't have siblings or friends to grow up with to bounce things off of and to go through things with. There were periods where I did have people I hung out with, but I loved them way more than they loved me. They were not loyal, and they were all toxic relationships, but I didn't know that at the time. How do you know what a toxic relationship is as a child? I barely know what a toxic relationship was as an adult. I had to be taught those things, red flags and whatnot. I didn't know what a narcissist was in the 90s. Like, what are you talking about? I didn't even know what gay was till I was like 17. Like, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Shout out to Ghost, RIP. I love that man. But back then, I wasn't accepted anywhere, and I didn't have any friends. And I kept having these supernatural experiences, but I didn't know that that's what they were at the time. It was just normal to me to see things that were not human, or to have complete strangers walk up to me and prophesy my future, or to give me words of encouragement. That's happened a lot throughout my life. But when I first realized I had a gift or an ability or a curse, or I didn't know what the hell it was, I was walking through the subway downtown somewhere, being grown. I couldn't have been no more 13, 14, but I looked a lot older. So I was downtown because I used to just walk around. I wanted to be anywhere but in my house. So I walked past older, he's had to be like 70, 75 years old white man, bald, kind of crunched over, walking around like this. He walked this way, I walked this way, and as soon as we met, I had a flash of a light, and I saw things from his memory, I guess. I don't know. But it was him and his daughter, and that's why he was walking like that. He had some sort of guilt or some sort of memory. He was thinking about his daughter, and I had the imagery, and the imagery told me the whole story. And that was the first time that I remember being able to see someone's past or future by being near them or looking at them or touching them. And as I got older, that would happen a lot more, but it's nothing I've ever been able to control. Like, yeah, I'm going to see your future. It doesn't happen like that. I can see entities and people, a lot, just a lot of stuff. But that is the first time I remember that happening to me. And it wasn't until almost 20 years later that I understood what was going on. I also get prophetic dreams, so do my kids. And yeah. So that's why I always knew that I was going to have to grow up and start a magic school. How did I know those things even existed? Through media. And then growing up and realizing that there were ancient schools where you learned like comedics and, you know, how to do conscious magic. Because the point is, we live in a magical realm. Everything that we do is either conscious or unconscious magic. That's just what it is. And once I was old enough to get into the circles where that was confirmed for me, oh, baby, you can't tell me nothing now. Because my whole life, it was always there, but I just didn't have anyone that I could trust tell me, yep, you saw what you saw. Yep, that is what it is. Yep, those things happened. And now I own it. And I'm glad that I did, because my children are of age and are going through the same things that I went through at their age, but they had no one to guide them. And that's why I always make sure that I have the best teachers, because I don't know shit. I'm sorry. As soon as you think you understand something, you find out there's a whole new level to learn, and it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, it never ends. Just like you never stop healing, this journey to healing will never end. Even after you pass out of this body and evolve, hopefully you evolve into something higher, or you devolve into something lower, whatever you choose to do with your time here. You know, you're still on a journey of healing and learning and expanding. Every moment, every second, the universe is expanding, and we are that. We are exactly that. And that's how I found God, understanding that she was inside of me, and she is in everything and everyone, which is why I understand the not judging thing. Because of course you want to judge people, but it's like, this is all God. So I always show respect, and I always learn, and I always keep it moving, mind my business, and keep it real. I love you. Thank you for spending time here with me in Fury World. I will see you very soon for chapter 4 in Blue Girl Wrapped in Brown. Peace.